Click the first link in the description for the best Askreddit content. I'm having an affair with my husband. My husband and I were having a hard time together, as lockdown ended and he's busy all day and doesn't spend time with us. We don't fight, but we definitely miss the spark we had in early stage of our relationship. We've been married for 10 years and dated for 5. We're having difficulties with sharing our problem with each other, like we did in early stage of our relationship. Recently I talked to my husband about this, and he suggested that we should make fake account on FB and we should pretend we're total strangers. At first it was really weird. We were acting as stranger which talking to each other. I jokingly asked him about his wife and he proceeded to write a long rant on me. It was fun, we learned a lot about our mistakes. It brought spark back in our life. But he's different guy when he acts like Mike, his fake act. I like Mike more than my husband. Real life and the life we both share on FB is very different. It's really exciting, we dare each other. Lot of sexting, we act like a teenager while we're on FB. But sometimes I feel like I'm cheating in him. It's a weird feeling, really hard to explain. Like inside our house we're husband and wife, and outside we're Mike and June. We're trying this for 2 months and I'm in love with this Mike guy my husband has been playing. Is it okay to feel this way? Should we continue doing this? And what can we do to improve this lifestyle? TL, Dr. Husband I were having kind of hard time communicating with each other. He came with an idea to overcome that. This is role playing. I do it with my husband in a schoolgirl uniform, you're doing it over Facebook. I wouldn't be ashamed. I know I think my husband is sexy in a cop uniform and what you're doing is no different. What matters is that you are doing it with your life partner and not with another person. Please do not listen to these people saying this is dangerous or the wrong path. It's simply not. There is no danger to this. I have never woken up in the morning thinking I was married to a cop, but I do wake up knowing that I'm married to a sexy, assertive man. It just takes a uniform to get that out. Yeah, it honestly just sounds like they were both getting bored and needed a little novelty in their relationship. This has sparked some passion back into both their lives, which sounds great to me. Try out some in-person role play too. You might just feel more free when you're not held to your usual dynamic. Try to remember that your husband is Mike, all the good qualities Mike has come from him. It's roleplay. You've both consented to it, you're both enjoying it. Stage a meetup and have the Pina Colada song play. Mike is just another part of your husband. Probably a part he doesn't feel like he's allowed to express in day-to-day life for some reason. There are lots of reasons that can happen. Just talk about it. Figure out how to help your husband feel okay about being like Mike around you when you're together. I think this is really cute. I'm in love with this Mike guy my husband has been playing. Is it okay to feel this way? I think most people would think it's okay to be in love with your husband. Like inside our house we're husband and wife, and outside we're Mike and June. Well, a lot of people wear a lot of faces. On the road you're driver, in the office you might be manager or nurse. The main question is, do you like being Mike and June? This post seems to indicate you certainly do. To me this seems like a very healthy way of venting frustrations and finding variety/spice in life. Mike and June could go on date nights, wear funky clothes, do sexy vacations, start new hobbies, do things that you and your husband wouldn't. People get into ruts and just tread the same grooves over and over. People get tired of each other and drift apart. It sounds like you're refinding each other and drifting closer together. In my opinion, what you have is rare and precious and you should cherish it. My F27 boyfriend, M29, thinks that because I work from home, I have time during the day to do chores around the house. At first, I thought the permanent move to work from home made by my company was going to be great. There are certainly other perks to it, but it has made many aspects of my life awful. My boyfriend has been an alcoholic for as long as I can remember. He actively drinks every single day and can't go one day without. He works for his father. He gets there at 4 p.m. and he's back home usually between 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the latest, so about 25 to 30 hours per week. I work 50 hours a week and my job is extremely demanding and stresses me out beyond belief sometimes. The work piles on so much, so quickly, I skip breaks all the time, or clock out if I have to and keep working, and forget I've eaten half the time. Many times when I log off from my main job, I move on to my personal computer, I freelance and have a few clients I do work for. I do all this and he still makes more money than me. Sometimes I have more time, sometimes I feel like I have no time to myself at all. When I have some more time, I clock off and work out, take a shower, and get to my freelancing. Lately it's been no time at all. My boyfriend seems to think I've gotten a free ride. I can supposedly hang out at home all day and do whatever I want. Certainly I have time to do all these chores, right? And if I can't do them while working, I could just get up earlier and get some things done. I stay up all hours of the night working on my freelance work. I usually get 6 to 7 hours of sleep until I have to log back onto my full-time job. When I try to explain it to him, he acts like he understands, but it comes back up in conversation later, usually alcohol-fueled. He brings it up all the time. When sober, it's passive-aggressive. The past couple of days he's had to get into work early in the morning and work throughout the whole day. Tomorrow will be the third and last day he has to do it, then it's back to his normal schedule. So tonight he drank his booze and got angry with me that some things haven't been done, that he worked a 12-hour day and that I should be able to pull away from work for 5 minutes to do these things. I was still working on my freelance work, but I went to the bedroom to get away from him. A couple minutes later he opens the door to tell me I act like I do so much but I'm just lazy, and then proceeded to slam the door. I'm angry and frustrated. I'm wondering if maybe I'm just the a-hole. A lot of the time I'm usually able to do the dishes and get some laundry done, but I feel like his expectancy of what I do around the house has shifted ever since I've been working from home. A lot of the time I miss going into the office and having it be a completely separate part of my life. Now it's meshed with home and it's a mess. I get the weekends off and he has Sundays and Mondays off and sometimes takes Wednesdays off, and he spends the day drinking and then starts these arguments with me while I'm at the computer. He'll see me check my phone a couple of times, responding to client emails or texting a friend back, and he tells me he thinks all I do all day is sit on my phone. I'm not sure how to communicate with him that I'm trying my very best. I know I'm not perfect, but I work overtime constantly just to make an extra buck, and I really do give work my all. I get to as much as I can on the weekends, depending on how much freelance work I have. What do I have to do? Physically show him the work that I do during the day? Should I just pull away from work and just do these things? I've tried expressing that all my work stresses me out and it turns into a competition, that he works harder than I do in a shorter amount of time and he still finds time to do certain things. Too long didn't read. Ever since working from home, my boyfriend expects more housework to be done because he thinks I have all the time in the world to do it. How can I communicate to or show him how much work I do in the day and how it stresses me out to try to do all this housework on top of my regular work? So, let's get this straight. You're in a relationship with an alcoholic who doesn't understand or care how much work you put into your actual job, instead thinking that your job is so freaking easy that you should not just be able to, but rather feel obligated to care for the home more or less on your own. He continually brings this up to the point where you feel so unsure that you have to ask others to validate that you're not crazy for expecting even the most basic respect for your work. You've already spoken to him about this and he still continues to ignore that and instead repeats the same entitled bullshit as earlier. You don't have a boyfriend, you have a grown child. Does he bring anything positive to your life? If you have kids down the line and your kid ends up with a man like your boyfriend, would you be happy for them? If a friend of yours came to you and told you everything you've told us, and no doubt a hell of a lot more issues, would you advise them to stay and work it out? Because I wouldn't. Why are you still with this raging dumpster fire in a human-shaped suit? Girl, he's an abusive alcoholic. Leave him. What positive are you getting from your relationship with this appalling man? I am completely at a loss to understand why you are with him. This post should be about why you are dating an alcoholic. It is not about chores. Why stay with an alcoholic? It's just going to get worse, but let's go ahead and attack this one problem at a time. He doesn't see what you do as work because it is probably not physically demanding, and while working 50 hours a week he still gets paid more than you. He doesn't value your work as work, but as a hobby, as is traditional with the pink collar view of easy jobs. I'm willing to bet he expects you to be his arm. My suggestion: run for the hills and ghost him, as the divide between you will only get worse, and with time it'll only get harder to leave him. If you fear for your safety, go to a women's shelter. I'm 47M, concerned that my wife, 46F, has been emotionally cheating. What to do? Bit of our background: we started dating in 1992, we went to the same school for a year, then in 1994 I moved to another town to attend a different school. We got engaged and she moved in with me in 1995, and we've been together ever since. Things were great until 2015 when we were out at a pub and she met a guy, a friend of friends. They started texting multiple times a day for months. I didn't realize this until much later. Being pretty dense, it took me a while to realize that every time her phone would light up with a notification, she'd run to the restroom and be in there for a long time. I finally noticed the pattern, eventually confronted her, and we went to counseling. She seemed to realize that what they were doing was inappropriate. Things seemed good again, albeit a bit at arm's length. I've recently come to discover that she's been texting with her friend from school for the last year, whom she met whilst I was away, before she moved in with me. After the 2015 incident, I've been on high alert, so I've been telling myself that we're good, and that he's just a friend. What's got me worried is that she's never written to him in my presence, and she gets really flustered and defensive when I see her FB Messenger app notification, and ask who she's chatting with. She'll reluctantly say it's her friend from school with no further details. A lot of times, when I come into the room she's in, she'll scramble to close apps on her phone, then she'll run to the bathroom and be in there for a long time. When I do catch a rare glimpse of their chat, it's littered with heart emojis. It seems to be a repeat of 2015 all over again. She also seems more physically distant, but since we are only intimate every 2 to 3 months or so, it's hard to tell. Does this sound like I should be concerned, or am I being paranoid after the last episode? This is clearly a repeat of 2015. I suspect the friend from school is actually the same guy. Demand to see the messages and don't give her an opportunity to delete or hide them. Resume counseling. You've been together a long time. If she's yearning to feel desired, you both need to communicate your needs better and work on your relationship. You sound complacent and she seems restless. I would be worried it's the same pattern. Ask her flat out what's going on. Tell her it seems just like 2015. Hopefully she will understand and show you the messages and it's nothing. I doubt it. When someone acts that way around you, hiding or scrambling their phone, there's something going on. Whether it's nothing or not, she still feels the need to hide these from you. If you love her still and want this to work, you need to ask her what she is doing. Tell her how it's making you feel, remind her this has happened before and that it's going back down the same old emotional route. If you do this, prepare yourself mentally for the outcome of it. It could go either one of two ways. She either cuts all contact and remains your wife whilst seeking counseling again, or you call it quits. Personally, if that behavior persists, you just can't stick around anymore. Although a divorce would be messy, I imagine you're only 47 and you have time to find someone else who you love and adore, for another 25 years of your life. Just because you're older doesn't mean it's over for you romantically. Know your worth, explain your feelings, and if she continues to cross your boundaries, you need to find courage to leave. I hope it all works out for you. Smile. Deep down you know the answer, you're afraid of what that means. Is it worth forgetting this indiscretion, that will probably happen again? She is lacking something in your relationship that she isn't getting, By no means is this your fault. I am sure if take a step back from your relationship and look at it from an outsider, you'll see that both of you are unhappy and the relationship isn't thriving like it was in the 90s. There is no bad guy, just that you both have grown into new people with different needs. Ending a relationship is so hard and scary but so worth it. I exited this multiple times in our 8-year relationship. Eventually I decided I was worthy of true love, and so was he. Good luck and best wishes. Trust your gut, it knows.